In the dimly lit room of a small apartment in Brooklyn, David sat at his cluttered desk, surrounded by sketches, half-finished canvases, and tubes of paint. He had always dreamed of becoming an artist, ever since he was a child. His parents had encouraged him, telling him to reach for the stars, to paint the world as he saw it. But life, it seemed, had other plans for him. David's phone buzzed, breaking his concentration. It was his boss. He sighed deeply and picked it up. "David, we need you to cover an extra shift tonight," the voice on the other end commanded. He had little choice but to agree. The bills were piling up, and with his mother's medical expenses, he couldn't afford to say no. As he put on his uniform and headed out, he glanced at his latest work, a painting of a serene lakeside at sunset. It was almost finished, but he hadn't touched it in weeks. The burden of his responsibilities weighed heavily on his shoulders. He worked as a waiter at a local diner, the pay barely enough to make ends meet. Each day, he felt the dream of being an artist slipping further and further away. At the diner, he plastered on a smile and served customers, his mind wandering back to his art. The hours dragged on, and by the time his shift ended, he was exhausted. Walking back to his apartment, David felt a pang of longing as he passed by an art gallery. Inside, an exhibition of local artists was taking place. He stopped for a moment, peering through the window, admiring the pieces on display. That could have been him, he thought, if only things were different. When he returned home, it was late. He stared at his unfinished painting, a deep sense of loss washing over him. He knew that the dream he had cherished for so long was now just that, a dream. The reality of his situation left little room for artistic pursuits. The next day would be the same, and the day after that. With a heavy heart, David picked up a brush and added a single stroke to the canvas, a symbol of his unending struggle. But deep down, he knew he would never finish it. His dream was lost, buried beneath the weight of his responsibilities, leaving him with nothing but the remnants of what could have been.